Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily, the 2nd of October 2017, and the news is dominated by Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily for October the 2nd, 2017, and the news is dominated by Ronald Koeman. Lots and lots and lots of worried Everton fans, or not so worried Everton fans. I don't know. It's hard to gauge the mood at the moment. But one man who's certainly letting his mood be known is Moshiri. Once again, he's been on the notes in his iPhone, sent them over to Jim White, and he has said, "We are in a bad moment, but we have played the 4 title contenders 3 away. Today was the only unexpected loss. The 4 pre-qualified UEFA games and 2 group games on Thursdays haven't helped. There is mental and physical fatigue and 7 injuries. These are early days and Koeman has my total support. We have great fans and that deserve better. We know the honest and objective expectations of our supporters and will not let them down." Some things from that obviously jump out. The Burnley game was the only unexpected loss. Should the owner of a football club be coming out with such phrases? Should any loss be an unexpected loss, or is he just being honest? But even if he's being honest, should he be saying those things, as I said, to us as fans, or the media, or the wider world of football, which is essentially what you're doing by talking to Jim White rather than Everton's in-house media team? Why not keep this in-house? And when I say in-house, I do mean within Everton's control. Because as soon as, I know, listen, even if you put this out on the Everton website or spoke to someone at Everton, did a little one-on-one interview, it's going to get out. But at least I suppose it's under control then. Whereas this is obviously, it stirs up a massive debate because of the way it is, the way it's written. At least if he's speaking to someone face to face from Everton's media team, there is an element of control. Whereas I feel like this could be misconstrued, and it might be that he hasn't meant to say it the way it's been said. I don't know. But I just find it irresponsible of the owner of a football club to say that the Burnley game was the only defeat he didn't expect. That to me, you should expect to beat Tottenham at home because you're playing at home. You know, okay, Man United away, Chelsea away, tough games. But you don't necessarily expect to lose them, or you shouldn't be portraying that. And that to me just portrays a losing mentality, which is something that we didn't think still existed at the club, with everything the club are trying to do, buying players and moving stadium and all the rest of it. So I find that tough to comprehend. Also, talking about fatigue, mental and physical fatigue because of Europa games. Well, listen, the Europa League didn't just jump up on us and say, "Here I am." We knew we were going in the Europa League, just like we knew we were selling on Lukaku, and we didn't do anything about that either. But the point is, it's about 7 injuries. Well, who were those 7 injuries? Because, you know, Seamus Coleman and Balassi have been long term, and all the rest are, how much do they really affect the first team? Again, if there's mental and physical fatigue, why was that unexpected when you know you're playing Thursday, Sundays? So I find that difficult to comprehend. If you haven't got the players, you buy the players. You make a bigger squad by buying more players to cope. So I find that slightly poor as well from the club. I mean, obviously more positively, he said these are early days and Koeman has my total support. We have great fans and they deserve better. We know the honest and objective expectations of our supporters and not let them down. You know, the end bit's quite positive. I find the middle bit just really... Well, I mean, when he says we've played the 4 title contenders, 3 away, again, I don't... The whole point of this season was to try and compete, and we're not, and we don't look like we're going to compete. And what you're basically saying there is, well, we never expected to compete. I find that poor, in part, and I find it misjudged, and I find it naive of Farhad Moshiri to say something like that. I don't think it calms anyone down. I don't think it's... I just think it started another debate for some people about the suitability of what he's saying. So, yeah. And as I say, I also find it strange that he spoke to Jim White about it, when I know he speaks to Jim White, and I don't have a problem when it's positive news, but this, I think, should have been handled in-house under a controlled manner, where Everton can control the narrative by asking those questions face to face. Okay, he might say, well, if you ask those questions in-house, you're making it seem like there is a big problem, but you've just released a statement anyway to one of the biggest sources of sporting news in the country, on the radio, on the television. So very, very strange. Now, obviously, people are wondering, well, whether Ronald Koeman if there's a possibility of him losing his job. The bookies certainly are having a bit of fun with it. They've made Carlo Ancelotti favourite to take over at Everton. He is 6-1 front runner, with David Unsworth 8-1 and Eddie Howe 10-1. Duncan Ferguson 14-1, and the likes of Wagner, Hughes, Benitez and Sean Dyche at 18-1. Now, obviously, the manager would need to be sacked, and obviously by Farhad Moshiri's statement, that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. The odds of him being sacked, though, are 1-3 on. They are that's a very short, but very, very short book. You know, that's going to happen. That's dictated by the bets, and there's been a flurry of bets, so you'd understand why people would be putting bets like that. But Farhad Moshiri saying it's not going to happen, so you know, you have to take his word from it. Funes Mori has tweeted out saying you will see me back soon, I think he's trying to say. So obviously he's optimistic of a return. Obviously no return date, but he's put that tweet out, so maybe he feels like that is getting closer. The Daily Star have said that Everton will not return for Oliver Giroud. Obviously there's a lot of speculation last week that Everton would go back for him, but according to the report in the Daily Star, Everton will not go back for him as the Frenchman has decided to stay and fight for his place. Now we'll wait and see on that one. Obviously that's not the greatest source in the world, but we'll wait and see whether he still feels the same in January, when he'll be looking at his World Cup place and starting for France. So we'll wait and see. That is basically all the news. I'm just having a little look. That seems like that's all the news. Everton have been told to consider Marco Silva by Garth Crooks, the Watford manager. Obviously he's doing very well, did very well a whole last season. Obviously couldn't save them from relegation. Wouldn't be on my list at the moment. Maybe he's someone down the line. He still seems very sort of Martinez-ish in terms of his development. Nikola Vasic said it's disappointing because we started the game very well. We had chances, we pushed them into the defence 60 metres, but we made one or two mistakes and conceded the goal. He said, I am very disappointed about that, but I believe the team and I think we have very good players and have a very good manager. Sometimes in football you have luck, sometimes you do not. In the past few games we've had opportunities but did not score, and if the opposing team had an opportunity they scored, and in the future will be better. So that's Vlasic. He also apologised for his role in the goal for Burnley. Little one on Romelu Lukaku. Apparently his value has gone up by £50 million since he signed for Manchester United. Well, that's obviously had a great start to the season and scored goals, scored in the Champions League, so obviously his value will go up. Would that value have gone up? Would that value have gone up at Everton? Could we have got more from him in the summer? Now the same report says Oxlade-Chamberlain is now apparently worth over 50 million, and he's been average, to say the best, at Liverpool, so you can take that story with a pinch of salt. And there you have it. Right, that is basically all the news for today. I'm just having a little quick look. There doesn't look like there's any more news from today, but obviously the news is dominated by Farhad Moshiri and his comments on Ronald Koeman. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on them. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't already. We're going for that 20,000. Click the bell for alerts so you know when we're putting videos out. And if you want more videos, please join us on Patreon. If you want more videos, of course. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. I'll see you later.